Hello, I just thought I'd share with you some space facts today, so that you've got a bit of an idea of some other things that go on in space that you can use in some of your topic learning. So, did you know that space is completely silent? So there's no noise at all up in space. There's no atmosphere in space, which means that sound has no way of travelling, so you can't hear anything. The hottest planet in our solar system is 450 degrees. So if you think about when we boil water on Earth, it's 100 degrees, isn't it? So this is 450 degrees, this whole planet, and it's Venus. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system, and interestingly, it's not actually the closest one to the sun. So just because it's closer to the sun doesn't make it hotter. So it is further away than Mercury, because Mercury is closer to the sun. There may be life on Mars, and we were talking about this in our Year 2 bubble group the other day, about how Mars is one of the most likely places that might be able to have some life on it. And we said that astronauts have sent rockets up to space. They haven't sent people up there yet to Mars, to have a little look to see if people could actually go and live on Mars. And maybe in a few years' time, probably in our lifetime, in your lifetime, that it might be possible. So we were talking about that the other day. So there might be life on Mars. Nobody knows how many stars there are in space. The sheer size of space, because it's so big, it makes it impossible to even try and count how many stars there are. But right now, scientists and astronomers use the number of stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way, to estimate how many there are altogether. And they think it's between 200 and 400 billion stars. That's a lot, isn't it? A full NASA spacesuit costs about $12 million. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Over in America, they're NASA spacesuits that they have. While the entire suit costs $12 million, 70% of that, so most of that amount, is for the backpack and the control module. So all of the things that they have to use to help them with their oxygen, their breathing when they're up in space inside their helmet, and all of the things they have on it. So that's amazing, isn't it? Neutron stars are the really, really small ones. They're called the dense stars. They're really tiny. They can spin at 600 times every second. So that's really, really fast, isn't it? There may be a planet made out of diamonds. Now, I didn't even know this until just now. As space facts go, this is pretty impressive, this one. So research by a university over in America have said that there might be a planet that is made up of graphite and diamond. It's 40 light years away, so it's so far away we can never ever see it, but they see it through all these other things up in space, their satellites, their telescopes. But it might just be visible to your eyes in the constellation, which is a big mix of stars up in space, that sometimes it might just about be visible even though it's that far away. We were talking about this one actually the other day as well, when we were looking at the first moon landing. So the footprints on the moon, so Neil Armstrong's and Buzz Aldrin's, have been there, or will be there, sorry, for 100 million years. That is such a long time, isn't it? Again, the moon, it has no atmosphere, so there's no wind, there's no rain, there's no nothing to wash away or wipe away their footprints. So the entire surface of the moon just stays exactly how it is. So it means that the footprints of the Apollo astronauts, along with spacecraft prints where they've landed their spacecraft, will be there for millions and millions of years. One day on Venus, so if you went to Venus and you spent one day there, is longer than 1 year on Earth. So it's a very, very, very slow time over there. Venus has a slow axis rotation, so it has a really, really slow rotation, so it turns really slowly. So that which takes 243 Earth days to complete just 1 day. So it's a much, much, much slower than our Earth. In 3.75 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies will collide. So at some point in billions of years, our galaxies will hit each other. And eventually they think that it will just collide and make one giant galaxy. If two pieces of the same metal touch in space, they will permanently bond, which means they permanently get stuck together. And this is called welding, cold welding. And it happens because the things inside them, they actually weld together when they're in space. They can't separate each other back up again. Earth, it doesn't happen on Earth because of the air and water that's in our atmosphere and in the air. It goes in between the pieces, so they don't actually join together. But in space, there's no air, there's no water, so they just get welded together. So we just thought we'd share some fun facts with you about space.